I'm not going to begin our intro until it says we're going to go. Oh, we have a go. Great. Welcome to Jason Live. I'm Haley Nelson, and we are back with our STEM career series, where we learn about careers in science, technology, engineering, and math, and role models in those fields. And today we have got 3 role models who are going to tell you all about their science and what they do. And we're going to meet them in just a moment. But first, I want to remind you that today's event is live and interactive. So if you have questions and you're watching from the website, there is a box right under this video window, and you can send in your comments, your questions, and you can send us a tweet at #JasonLive. Let's talk about that for a second. We're live from the Malaysian rainforest here, and so things can happen. We're here at base camp. Things are back. There's very, very active here. There's a lot of sound. If the broadcast cuts out, just make sure that you stay with us. We're going to keep going, and we're going to keep putting it out there when that happens. Now, we're going to try to get as many of your questions as possible for all the people who are going to join us today. But first, I would like to, I think now it's time to meet our first guest. Can everyone welcome arachnologist, Dr. Lauren Esposito. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm awesome. Look where we are. This has been great.
Unbeatable.
We've been to work. We've been able to work together a lot. Basically, maybe us following her around, seeing all the cool stuff she does. And your first question comes from Mia. Why do you study scorpions?
Well, first of all, because they're awesome. I mean, why wouldn't you study scorpions is my question. The biggest reason that I study scorpions is because they're the oldest terrestrial group of arthropods on Earth. So they were one of the earliest groups to come out of the sea onto land and eat other animals. And so that means that I have 450 million years of evolution to study and understand and document. I study scorpions is because they're extremely important in their ecosystem. So understanding the number of species in an ecosystem or how many individuals are in the populations gives us really good clues as to the health of that ecosystem. So you can actually use scorpions as a proxy for the health of the place that you're in.
A lot here.
Yeah,
definitely. The next question comes from Elliot, and Elliot is wondering, Dr. Lauren, what would spider and scorpion venom be used for? Is it like snake venom where it's used as medicine? What are the physical characteristics? Is it colorful or slimy or liquid?
Those are some good questions. And scorpion venom is definitely, I think, for many people, one of the most intriguing parts about scorpions. And while I don't necessarily study the venom per se, about it as a scorpion biologist. So the first thing, scorpion venom, when it's ejected, there's 2 things. There's a pre-venom, which is the very beginning stages. Sometimes it's ejected as a little droplet before the scorpion actually stings something. And then
that kind of hangs off.
Yeah, so sometimes you'll see like, there's like when they get really excited, there's like a little tiny droplet, and that's like a milky white color. And then there's the actual venom, or the pure venom, and that's clear. And so what venom is really it's like a cocktail. So there's 100 unique components to scorpion venom.
Whoa!
So like one individual, and the venoms are salts and enzymes for digesting and peptides that affect the nervous systems of insects or of mammals or even of crustaceans. So scorpion venom is all sorts of stuff, which means that it has all sorts of potential therapeutic uses because it acts in a really, really specific way on the target organism, including mammals. We can harness that specificity and use it for medical purposes. So some of the research right now for scorpion venom includes cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, treatments for muscular dystrophy, even treatments for use of scorpion venom as a pesticide, because it does act on the insect nervous system as well.
Cool. Just the fact that different venoms can be used medically. And we've got another question that's come from Trent. How do you get that close to bugs and others without them biting or stinging you?
Well, that's pretty easy because most of them don't want to bite or sting you. They use, particularly things that have a stinger, use the stinger as a last resort. So they don't want to have to use their stinger because it costs them a lot of energy to produce the venom or whatever it is in their sting.
Right.
And so they only want to use that as a last resort if they absolutely have to. So many things will avoid biting you at all costs, and they'll just do it as like a last resort, like it's fight or flight. They're trying to defend for their lives, and so they sting you. But for the most part, as long as you handle things gently and use caution, you don't have to worry.
And I've seen you wear a glove.
I do wear a glove, but it's not actually for the things that I'm worried about biting me. I call it my MJ glove, Michael Jackson. Because I wear it because I'm like always flipping over rocks and turning over logs, and I get like all kinds of gross stuff on my hands, or my hands just get really like rough.
So you want like fungus or?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've had like athlete's foot hand before.
Yeah. So
Gross.
not worried about the scorpions, just the fungus.
Just
Okay,
the fungus.
good. We have another question from LH wondering, what do you think is the most impressive or interesting species you've found so far on Penang Hill?
Well, that's an easy one, because we discovered a new species of scorpion here on Penang Hill. And I wouldn't say that it's like the most impressive looking scorpion, because it's really small and kind of just sits still when you find it. It doesn't even like try to escape. And it is a new species that was previously unknown to science. So for us, that's a huge find. And we worked really hard. We went out every single night looking for more specimens. And so far we found 6 individuals, which is like a huge number for this group. We call them the ghost scorpions because they're so difficult to find.
Whoa, that's incredible. Let's see, Matthew Gortner, who sent a picture of himself. Here, let's see. I don't know if everybody can see that or not. There's Matthew. He's asking, Lauren Esposito, since you study arachnids and scorpions, how does it feel to discover new species? And what are you hoping to do with the research that you do here on Penang Hill?
Well, sometimes you don't know that you've discovered a new species. In many, many cases, like that's true. You don't know that you discovered it. You just collect it and you bring it back to the lab because you have to look at it really carefully and compare it to others before you know it's a new species. In this unusual case of finding the scorpion here, we actually have the world's expert here on hand. My postdoc, Stephanie Loria, is the world's expert on ghost scorpions. And so she was able to look at that and say, I know it's not the one that and high five because we were so excited, and it was like the first day, so it was like a really it was like a eureka moment
right out of the gate.
Like, hooray!
And the fact that you found 6, so that's amazing.
And she says that for every one over you find 1 scorpion, so it's been a lot of work finding those 6.
Wow. We have another question. This one is from Haley Benson, wondering, do you do this every day?
I do. Well, not necessarily this variation of it. I spend somewhere between 2 and 6 months out in the field, in the outdoors, trying to discover new species, trying to document what we still have on our planet. And then the other 6 months I spend back at my home institution, which is the California Academy of Sciences, big up.
Woo-hoo.
And I have a research lab there, and we do genetics research on arachnids and scorpions and spiders. We have a massive research collection that we can use for reference. So that's when we go back, we take the specimens that we found here, we take them back to our institution, and we're able to compare them to other species that we have in our library of life at the California Academy.
Which is huge.
It's huge.
Which is huge. Gavin wants to know, dear Dr. Lauren Esposito, what's the longest amount of time you've been away from your home? And where was it? And what were you doing there? Thanks, from Miss Duquette's science class.
That's a really great question. And it took me a minute to remember that once I did an expedition by sailboat in the Caribbean, and I went for 6 months on the sailboat, island hopping from one little island to the next little island, doing surveys of arachnids and scorpions and spiders. Scorpions and spiders are arachnids. And so that was about a 6-month expedition, and I did go home a couple of times briefly, but 6 months was still a pretty significant chunk of time, and by far the longest I've ever spent away from home.
Wow. And also like not bad island hopping in the Caribbean.
It's good. I can't deny that.
Yeah.
Hot and sweaty. But
well, hey, that's where you find all the good stuff. Caitlin Bilodeau wants to know, Dr. Lauren Esposito, how have the scorpions and spiders you've studied changed over time? This is also another question from Turner, Maine, USA.
So I'm assuming that you mean changed over geologic time, because when we think about time as humans, oftentimes we think of time as being like years or decades, and not geologic time like the time scale on which life has evolved on Earth. And so for me, when I think about over time, I'm thinking about over like millennia, over centuries, over hundreds of thousands of years, or even millions of years. And definitely there's been changes. Overall, the basic body plan of scorpions has not changed. It's remained consistent over time. They had a recipe for success, and they just stuck with it, right? Like they have the tail, they've got the pinchers, they've got the stinger, they've got the eyes, they've got it all. So they haven't changed a whole lot, but what is changing on a really short geologic time scale, even within our lifetimes, is the components of their venom. Ooh. And so scorpions are in an arms race. They're pitted neck to neck against their predators in a fight for survival. And the scorpions are still hanging on. They're still in it to win it. And so what's happening is the scorpion venom is evolving as the predators evolve resistance to it. And so the scorpions are having to change their cocktail of their venom to keep evading their predators, because the predator's immune system is combating that cocktail of venoms, and they're really like neck to neck in a fight for survival. Mammals. There's one thing in particular called a scorpion mouse, which is like the most fearsome predator of all scorpions.
Never even heard of a scorpion mouse.
Yeah, scorpion mouse. They live in the southern U.S. and northern Mexico. But there's other things like in Asia. There's mongoose. Mongoose love to eat scorpions. They're a delicious little protein snack. I mean, if you think about it, a scorpion is kind of like eating a shrimp. Yeah, in a way, right?
I see that.
Crunchy body, nice, succulent, juicy innards.
Dip it in
so
a
it's
little
like
butter.
A little protein snack. Dip it in a little dirt if you're a mongoose. So scorpions are definitely still evolving, especially their venom proteins.
That's unbelievably cool.
Pretty cool.
Wow. We have Kaylee wondering, why did you choose to go to Malaysia?
Well, I think I chose to come to Malaysia, for one, because I was invited, which is like amazing. Who wouldn't turn down an opportunity to come to this beautiful primary rainforest? But also, I wanted an opportunity to come and start to work on Southeast Asian fauna, because normally I work in the neotropics, which means the Caribbean, Central America, South America. I'm really a neotropical specialist, I would consider myself. And so I'm really excited about the opportunity to get to go to another part of the world, another region of the world, where the forest is similar in that it's a tropical rainforest, but really different in terms of what's living here based on the ancestry of this area.
Yeah, and plus it's really gorgeous in a totally different way.
See this? This is like amazing.
Gabby wants to know, Dr. Lauren Esposito, what has the stronger venom, spiders and scorpion? Oh wait, what has the stronger venom, spiders or scorpion? And what effect does the venom have on people?
Well, you know, that's a really good question, but it's kind of a hard one to answer because they've independently evolved venoms. And so you can't really directly compare them because they do things in different ways. So the best way to do that would be using a statistic called the LD50. And what an LD50 is it's a way to measure how potent any toxin is. And so I think that probably the highest LD50 in the animal kingdom, in the invertebrate animal kingdom, so excluding snakes and mammals and birds and other things that are toxic or poisonous, would be a scorpion. It's probably, I'm going to give it to the scorpions.
All right. Scorpions win. I'm give one for scorpion.
They were asking what it does to you. That's a
good question.
What
does it do?
So, well, the ones that are acting on the nervous system of mammals, what they do is they either activate or they block your nerve channels. So, you know, like your nerves talk to each other through a channel. So one nerve ends and the other nerve starts, and they use chemicals to transmit the signal from nerve to nerve. And so what scorpion venoms do is they go into that gap and they either block the signal from transmitting to nerve, so you're kind of effectively paralyzed, or they make all the nerves fire all at once, which is probably like really painful and nothing that anybody wants to experience.
No.
But most scorpions are harmless, that being said.
Oh, well, that's good. Blaine wants to know, have you ever been bitten by a poisonous spider?
Well, spiders are not poisonous.
They are?
They are venomous. So poisonous things are things that when you eat them, it makes you sick. They have a toxin that makes you ill. And venomous things are things that make a toxin that harms you in some way. I've never been bitten by a poisonous spider because I don't think there are any. And I don't think I've ever been, I've been bitten by spiders a few times, but nothing like significant.
That's a good thing. And you see a lot of them. So
I see tons. Yeah. And some spiders don't even make venom. There's some spiders that are completely lacking venom glands, so they can't even make venom. Some spiders lack venom glands, and other spiders lack silk glands, so they don't make silk.
Oh, well, which ones are the ones that don't make venom? Because we'll just have those just hanging out as our pets.
Yeah, let's get those. They're really tiny. Like they would make terrible pets. Although maybe like you could just catch like little gnats and feed them.
Well, that would be cute, but under a microscope would be hard to take care of. JC wonders, when did you people start researching or have an interest in science? And were you young or were you more grown up when you decided?
Well, I've always like really loved the natural world, and when I was a kid, I really liked exploring like my mom's garden, the pots, and look what was underneath them, find roly-polies and earwigs and cockroaches. And as I grew older, I continued, like I was really into tide pooling, and I think when I was in high school, maybe I wanted to be a marine biologist, which obviously was a mistake because this place is but
can you tell them what tide pooling is?
Tide pooling. Tide pooling is like when you go out and around the ocean on the seashore, and there's like pools that have collected water in them, and when the tide goes out, the water stays, and often there's like little crabs or little fish or sea anemones or all kinds of little sea creatures that get trapped in there. Some of them want to be trapped in there. That's like what they specialize in. But it's like fun to just look and observe and see what you can find hiding in the tide pools. But I think, as I grew older, I had to think about what I wanted to do as a career. Mm-hmm. And when I started college, I majored in biology because I thought biology was great. And then I took a class when I was a junior in college called field biology. Mm-hmm. And what field biology is it's like this. Like you come up with a project that you want to do, and you go out into the place that you're going to do the project, usually like over spring break or over a weekend or a long week, and you do the project out in the field, like getting your first opportunity to do science, really. And when I took that class, before that, I was thinking about going to medical school. I was pre-med. Mm-hmm. And when I took that class, I was like, oh my God, like this is what I remember loving to do as a kid. It's like getting permission to go like explore your mom's backyard as an adult. And I was like, okay. And I changed my major and I decided to continue and study invertebrates and eventually landed on scorpions and spiders.
And it's a good thing that you did because you're really good at it. Time for one last question from you, and this comes from Emma from Ms. Dugay's class, wondering, do you like what you do, and would you recommend it to students like me?
I love what I do, and so I think, for me, I get to explore a natural curiosity, and I think that it's like a really creative occupation, and it's really adventurous. So if you fancy yourself like an explorer and also an Einstein, then you should absolutely do this, because this is like the best thing ever. I think when I was in middle school once, I was asked to write an essay about what I wanted my career to be. And I said I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a hobo or a rocket scientist. And I think that's what I am. I'm like the mix between the two. I'm a hobo and a rocket scientist. I get to travel the world exploring and do science.
Here you go.
Yeah. So yes.
Perfect.
Stick with what you love.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming to talk with us, and we'll follow you around some more and find more about arachnids. And I can't wait to see your full species list, although that may take years.
Yeah,
to
looking
figure
forward
out.
to it. It will.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks for joining us. Bye, Lauren. And let's go down the stairs. There we go. And next up, we have Nur Zulaikha, and she goes by Ika. She's a medical entomologist from here at USM in Penang. Mm-hmm. And we have questions that are coming up from you. Yeah. And so what is a medical entomologist?
Basically, in medical entomologies, we focused on the insect that affected the human health. So in this case, we study about mosquito, the impact of mosquito on human health. Like a mosquito-borne disease like we have in Malaysia, like a dengue, it's a very big problem.
Right.
Yeah, and we have like malaria, but luckily we don't really have malaria cases in Malaysia. But we have that problem around the world. Yeah.
We have a question from Trent asking, why study bugs?
Okay, this is really funny. Because if you ask like everyone around here, they would say, oh, I study insect, I study bugs because I love it since I was a kid. But it's kind of the opposite for me because I hated them. Okay, really past tense, I hated them because like when I was growing up, I have this condition on my skin like eczema. So mosquito bites is basically like lethal to me. Like the bites will last for weeks.
No way.
Yeah. So I started to like wonder what makes it itchy, like what they did to my skin, stuff like that. So I started to like, you know, just like doing my own research, like why it makes it so itchy when they bite me, stuff like that. So that is how I think I kind of fall in love with it. You know what they say, like don't hate it too much because at the end you're gonna love it. So yeah.
We have a question from Bo wondering, why do you want to learn about mosquito species so much? What made you want to do that specifically? That's sort of, do you remember the moment?
Okay, so as I said, like when I was a kid, like I have eczema, right? That is when I know like I want to study mosquito because like it is an important factor. Like they spread all the diseases around the world, like dengue and malaria, right? It's such a big problem. Like, do you know like actually they have like 700 million people like around the world got infected by mosquito-borne disease every year.
7 million people.
700 million people.
Yeah, so that's
I think a lot. So I think like for me, I'm gonna do like my research on biological control. So it's kind of how I'm trying to figure it out how to actually control the population. So yeah,
so this is gonna be something that's going to help people.
Yeah,
because of it's related to disease. Okay, that's really cool. Hughes Primary School in Australia wants to know, why do mosquitoes make you itch for a long time?
That is a very good question. So the thing with mosquito is that what makes it itchy is the saliva. So when they inject you, the saliva contain the anticoagulant. So it makes your blood, it prevents your blood from clotting.
Scabs over.
Yeah, so that's what makes it itchy.
Is the anticoagulant.
The saliva.
Oh, and the saliva.
Yeah, the saliva contains the anticoagulant. Wow.
All right, we have someone called Demonic Scientist wondering, how do you study mosquitoes without being annoyed and smash them?
I am annoyed all the time. I have no idea. Yeah, but I think like as I'm growing,
there's one right there.
Yeah, there's one right there. I don't really see it on the
It's flying all over.
I get like all the time, but the thing is, studying mosquito on the field, we cannot wear repellent because sometimes mosquito land on us and we get to catch them. So when we like wear repellent, they're not really like want to come to you. We don't want that.
Oh, you can't wear mosquito repellent.
Yeah, you just have to like
Wow.
Yeah.
So and repellent in general, like, would you be working on something that would be a repellent? Would that be how you are going to help control the species populations, like you were saying?
I mean, repellent's not really working on like how we control the population. It's just like they're just going to repel the mosquito, but at the end of the day, they're just going to be around you, like just to prevent from getting bites and stuff. But it's not going to control the population, definitely.
So when you're doing your research, what is the what is actually going to? You're saying you want to help control those populations.
Yeah.
What are you looking to do? Are you going to study the larvae?
Okay, we have like a different methods in controlling the mosquito population. So we have chemical control. In Malaysia, we have the chemical control. We have chemical insecticide, stuff like that. But in my research, I'm doing the biological control, which means I use the other organism to control mosquito population. So in my case, I use rhamnolipid. It's a biosurfactant which proven to be safe for the environment and also the other organism, but it's lethal to the larvae and pupae of mosquito.
Wow, so it targets just the larvae of mosquitoes.
Exactly.
What is it called again?
Rhamnolipid.
Rhamnolipid.
Yeah.
All right. And where does that come from?
It's coming from, it's produced by the bacteria that we can get from palm oil. So it's really like safe to use for the environment.
That seems random.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Hughes Primary School in Australia wants to know, how can mosquitoes carry viruses and how do they make you really sick? That's a question from Abby.
Okay, that's a very good question. Like when a mosquito bites someone who's infected with the virus, so the virus will transfer to them. And then when bite another uninfected person, the virus is going to transfer to another person. That is how it goes.
So they bite a mouse or something that already has the virus, and then they bite you, and then you get the virus.
That is why it can like spread very rapidly, because they usually like bite like multiple people at the same time. So it's a very rapid spreading virus.
How many times can a mosquito bite?
Probably like at one period, it can bite like 5 to 6 hosts at one time. It's just gonna bite you. Oh, I'm just gonna get little of you and little of you, little of you.
Variety is the spice of life, I guess, when you're having a meal there. Matthew Gortner wants to know, Ika, do any mosquitoes in Penang Hill have diseases such as malaria? Have any of your biosurfactants worked?
Okay. In Malaysia, we don't really have like a malaria cases, but we have a problem with dengue.
Dengue fever.
As they like reported to me, like last week, there's one worker like having a dengue fever. So that's definitely like they have like certain dengue virus around here.
And what does dengue do? What if you get bitten by mosquitoes and you get dengue fever? What happens?
You just like going to very just gonna feel nauseous and just having like a really bad fever and sometimes like rashes all over your body.
Does that last a long time or does it go away quickly?
It depends. If like you didn't get treated like, you know, at an early stage, it's definitely gonna last longer. But if you like, you know, usually it's really hard to detect. Like, you know, maybe you think like, oh, this is just like a common fever. Like you don't know it's like a dengue fever, right? So it depends.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have another question. What is the most blood a mosquito can take from a human?
I would say
from long. That's that question. Okay.
Long. How long?
I don't know. Oh, sorry. Long is the person. I was just including their name.
The blood? I don't know. Probably they can take up to like 1 mil. Yeah. The thing is, like, you have to worry about the female mosquito because they're the only ones feed on the host. They're the only one who needs the blood to nurture the eggs. So in one time, they probably can take like up to 1 mil.
Okay.
Yeah. We have
Asol asking, how do you research the organisms, and how long does your research last?
So what's the question again?
And how do you do your research?
Do my research.
So say I've seen you do your research, so I have a clue. Yeah. But how do you go? Do you go out and collect your specimens?
Yeah, the thing is, like in BioBlitz, like we went out to like a different site to get the mosquito sample as well as the larvae sample. But in my personal research, I just do things like in my lab. I don't really need to go out to on field. I just use the lab strain to actually test it out. The arachnologist, I test it out on the lab mosquitoes.
Oh, okay. So most of your time is in the lab.
On the
so
lab.
This is kind of a singular experience.
Exactly. Actually, this would be like my first time coming out and feel like collecting mosquito. This is my first experience actually.
And how are you enjoying this part of it?
I'm really enjoying. Like everyone being so informative, and I learned a lot of things honestly. Yeah.
And we were out there with you, and so if you want to see that video, it's actually up on the playlist on YouTube. Another question we have, how long does it take between being bitten by a mosquito and how long it takes you to get sick? And that's a question from Harmon.
Well, it's like it depends on how your mechanism works. Your defense mechanism works. Sometimes like it takes up to 2 to 3 days, but some people maybe like, you know, got a reaction right away. It just like depends on how your body works.
I guess that would be true too.
Yeah.
Billy wants to know, how big can a mosquito bite get?
Well, I'm not really sure of that, but you know, I've seen like a bite that as big as this.
As big as your fist?
Yeah. Probably like
I was not expecting that.
Really, I've seen that before, but never happened to me. So yeah, I guess it gets really nasty sometimes.
Well, that's fortunate.
Yeah.
Whew. Hughes Primary School Murray wants to know, how long have mosquitoes been around on our planet?
Oh, they've been around a long time ago.
Like 10 years?
No, a lot longer than that.
Geologic time.
Million years ago, like yeah.
That's incredible.
A long time ago.
How have mosquitoes changed through evolution? Oscar wants to know.
Okay, this is like very interesting because as mosquito evolve, as I said, like I'm working on the control program, right? So we figured out that the chemical that we're using are no longer effective. They get resistant out of it. So that definitely evolved. Like we need to like change the chemical we use it from time to time because we figured a mosquito, they can build up the resistance towards it. So that definitely evolved like from the earliest stage like until now. They definitely like
So is it evolving at the larval stage?
It's an adult.
Oh, at the adult stage. Okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering about that. Harper wants to know, how do you know when you're out in the field that you're getting different samples and not just the same ones?
Yeah, it's if it's in larvae stage, like you've seen us on a field, right? So we can collect the water sample from the stagnant water. We're going to rear them in a laboratory.
They take them back to the lab and make little baby mosquitoes.
Yeah, and then we like identify them so that we know like it's a different species. But if it's an adult, we definitely have a key identification. We take a look at the thorax, abdomen, like they have different colors. They have like the different length of, maxillary pulps, lots like that. Each of them have a distinguished like characteristic that we can look at.
So you may not know if you're collecting the same species until you get back to the lab.
Yeah.
All right. Tina Howard wants to know, why did you decide to go on this expedition?
Well, basically, I
You live
invited.
here.
I got invited to collect mosquitoes from this area, and it kind of like helped out my supervisor, Dr. Nur Faiza, because like this is definitely not my project, but I said like it would be fun if I can tag along and learn a few stuff, because I said like this would be like my first time like going on a field, right? So it's a good opportunity.
And there's so many cool traps.
Yeah,
and everything.
exactly.
Jake wants to know, what would you say is the most interesting fact you found about mosquito species?
The most interesting fact would be I think like the one that I said with the saliva. I would never expect like something as saliva would make you that itchy and that annoying. So that would be like the most interesting fact, I would say.
You might say it like the most annoying species.
Yeah, you guys would probably like guess, oh, it's a saliva. That's what makes it itchy, right?
Yeah. Well, now we know.
Now we know.
Why do you like studying about mosquitoes? Jaden wants to know just what do you like about it?
What I like about it, it's like every time you get a sample, you always like find a new one, and sometimes you never expect like how beautiful they are. I mean, like we always miss that part, like. Sometimes a mosquito, we just found a mosquito yesterday. They have like this blue round, like a blue line, metallic line, like around the head. And they have like a gold glittery, like in the abdomen, like gold glittery, like what do you call that, scales around the abdomen. It's really
gold
beautiful.
And blue mosquitoes?
Yep. You need to see that. I'll show you later.
Okay.
It's really beautiful.
What it's like. I can't believe that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
All right. So can you describe to us, one more question, can you describe to us kind of what it's like to go out in the field and maybe some of the traps that you're using to capture mosquitoes?
Oh, yeah. So for BioBlitz, we're using like 3 different types of traps. So we're using the carbon dioxide trap, and I'm using the UV light traps, as well as the gravity trap. And the thing is, like, this is like the first time the method we use never been used in Malaysia before. Like, we set up the trap on vertical line and we hang it on a tree. So we never expect like, oh, a mosquito can go like up there. Usually a mosquito that feed on blood, they don't go up to 7 meters from the forest floor. But then now we figured out, oh, they can go up to like 20 meters now.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't really focus on like the number of species, the number of individuals that we found. We focus on like the diversity, what kind of species that we can get.
And where they are in the canopy.
Exactly.
Wow.
If we get one, there's definitely more out there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And 2 weeks, to be honest, it's not enough to actually represent the whole population of mosquito around this area. So we're probably gonna get back to like, doing.
Yeah, 2 weeks, just in general, is not enough here for anything.
Yeah.
But it is, but it isn't.
Yeah.
You could spend your whole life.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming to
you.
talk with us. And I'll see you out, I guess, a little bit later.
Thank you for having me, though. Yeah.
Great questions.
Okay.
Malika. And next up, we have Nur I'm going to say it right. Nur Shafila Binti Yaakob.
Yeah,
But guess what?
Hi, hi.
She goes by Lala. That
Yeah,
makes it
yeah.
easier.
Yeah, yes, Lala here.
Yes. And Lala is the head ranger and also the head tree climber here at the habitat right here on Penang.
Yeah, yes.
And we've got some questions coming in here. This one's from Emma. Emma's wondering, Lala, when did you first start climbing trees? How old were you? And did it scare you at first, or did you love it?
Okay, I'm start walking. I'm start climbing the tree about 1 year ago, and
Only 1 year ago?
1 year ago, very new for me, and I recognized by Tree Climbing Planet, and my coach is the founder of Tree Climbing Planet, which is Mr. Tinkova.
Wow! So you learned from the head of all tree climbing in Malaysia?
Yeah. I try here. I mean, outside of Habitat Penang Hill. Yeah. So every Saturday and Sunday we have a station for public that would like to enter here and would like to try to do tree climbing activities here.
Awesome. And just because of all the sound here, we're gonna have to really super speak up and be really loud because of all that like waterfall thing over there.
Okay.
Jake wants to know, have you ever been a little scared climbing a tree?
Okay, my coach know about this one because I am the one that scared with the height. One, we have my friends that Kay and Chia and Harmy and me. And first time I'm climbing the tree, so 3 of them going up and I just at the lower part. So hey, I'm female, so please don't bully me. But the spirit come to me, and then I said that I'm the only girl, and I will make sure that I can do it like man up there. And at the end, I climbed the Meranti tree. Yeah, it's the highest tree on the trail. And then I'm going up better. I mean, more upper part. I mean, then other trees. And then I can say hi, bye bye. And at the same time, I see the dusky, the butterfly, and at the same time, so I wish so I can climb. I also can do it.
So you were the only woman climbing.
Yes.
And then what made you go? What made you just say like, hey, I'm gonna be the head of tree climbing here.
Yes.
What happened to get you into that role?
Because the first thing that I said before, because I cannot go in higher than that tree man. So why not? I need to believe, I need to increase my confidence that I can do it. I want to do it. I want to explore myself.
And what do you see when you're up there?
Yeah, so once I'm going, I mean, from the bottom, I'm going up, I use the energy, everything. So once I at the top of on the tree, so I can see the view from, if you see the view, I mean, on the top of the tree is totally different than you see from bottom. So that one made me fall in love to climbing the tree.
Oh, awesome. Lala, how do you become, this is from Cameron, how do you become a professional tree climber?
Okay, I have Mr. Tinkova to teach me. I have 2 senior climber of Malaysia, which is Mamu and Zo, and my clique too, Kay. So, and around this BioBlitz, the Habitat Penang Hill, I also learned how they're going up using the other different technique, different the device and the new device that using by Steve, and different technique by Wendy and Anthony too. So all this one made me gain new experience and new knowledge about how to climb the tree, because the tree climbing is not like limit, the technique is limit, not the technique of tree climbing is many. So I need to grab all these things.
So basically, to become a great tree climber here, you learn from the best, and then you go through everybody else who has a different technique, and you learn from them. That's awesome. Miles Hanscom wants to know, Nur Yaakob, what's the highest tree you've ever climbed and how tall was it? Were you nervous?
Yeah. So
There's more questions after that. But.
The highest tree I'm climbing here at Meranti, about 20 to 30 meters.
20 to 30 meters.
So
wow.
because I also have my work to do here as head ranger, sometimes I also enough time. So, but once I'm going up on the tree, I like to do switch over. I mean, like I'm going up SRP and I do switch over, and then I come down using the double rope technique. And yeah, I learned before.
Well, then here's another question related to that. Have you ever fallen out of a tree? If you did, was it really bad?
No, never, because Mr. Tim Kova and my clean also, so okay, always said that safety is most important. Even if you want to climb a tree, you need to know you need to inspect the ground, you need to inspect the trunk, branch. So during the BioBlitz, the Habitat Penang Hill, even they are professional tree climbing. I mean, so they need to inspect the tree first before they're going up. So that one is the most important thing that we should do even before and during and after we climb the tree. That one is most important thing.
Now, we have definitely seen all the safety techniques. That seems to be what takes the most time. Safety first, not safety third.
Yes.
There we go. We have 2 questions in the queue. What is your favorite type of tree to climb? And what's the most amazing view? That's from Katie and Nettie.
The most, my favorite tree around, in Habitat is in Malay we call Meranti. Is a time of hardwood. So
Meranti.
Okay.
I'm still learning trees.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know the scientific name, but
Neither
in
do
Malay
I.
we call Meranti is one of the tallest tree because Malaysia rainforest. The tree not really high than redwood like Australian. US rainforest tree. In Malaysia is higher sometimes, but you can find the higher tree at Bukit Larut, something like that. In Perak. So the highest tree that I have climbed before is Meranti, and I like to climb the Sina Memum protectum. Okay, one of the tree behind chicken office that which this tree can the wood from this tree can be can make it. We can use the wood from tree to make it the musical instrument to make it the furniture. So what I climb is not how fast you're going up, but I like to know about the value of that tree. That one is more important. Yeah.
Oh, I never thought about thinking about that way. I was just thinking which tree is the easiest to climb, which one has the most bryophytes in it.
One thing I like because sometimes we have the small tree, but that tree is most interesting because they have a few branches that we can set up the tree boot. We can set up the tree boot. We can switch over from this A, B to C and D. And the most important thing is we enjoy to do it and actually climb the tree help us to build a conservation and constituency and realization and recreational. It's fun.
Definitely recreational, definitely fun. And that is what this place is about, is bringing people out here so that you can climb, and if people come here, they can climb with you.
Sure.
Which is really neat.
Yes.
Julia Bernard says, I have a question for Lala. How did you find out about this job? Is there someone or something that inspired you to do this?
Okay, it's about dream. Once while I'm a teenager, about 16 years old, I'm entered Penang National Park, and one of ranger give information about the tree, about the jungle, and that time I dream if I can be a ranger one day, so it should be good. I wish to be a ranger, and I entered here as a ranger, and then end of last year I get the position, the head ranger. So it's a good time to work with nature. That
That is so cool. I can just see you as a
yeah.
16-year-old in the forest looking at other rangers going, that's it.
Yes,
That's my dream right there.
Yeah. One thing you need to know about tree climbing, not you can climb the tree personally, you can climb the tree individually, and you can spend your time with your family too. So it's a good quality time with your family. Yeah, because sometimes we have many work to do until we don't know what time. I mean, we don't have enough time to spend with our family. So you have to spend quality time with your family through trees.
See that? You spend time with your family up a tree.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
What is the hardest type of tree to climb? Jess and Taya would like to know.
Sorry?
They want to know what's the hardest type of tree to climb. Like, what's the most difficult tree?
Difficulty is, okay, one thing it's not it's difficult, but you need to know you have A and B tree. So this one A is a tall, about 20 meters, but you need to know this one is a softwood, and B is a small tree, but they have many branches that you can set up the tree wood, and you can facilitate other student, maybe a group of students. That one is more interesting. So I will choose B, not A, because this one maybe something will happen. So I choose B. Safety is my concern.
So it might be, you might have a taller tree, but something that has more branches, something that could facilitate more people. That's what you're looking for.
Yes.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is kind of a two-for question. We have these coming from Australia.
Yeah.
Natasha and Aaron want to know, do you get a lot of splinters?
Yeah.
And do you ever get scratches when you climb?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. So I use the comfortable harness. I use this one nice helmet, you can see.
Yeah.
Okay, so
nice comfortable helmet.
Before you climb, you need to do some exercise, maybe your hand, okay, some exercise, and after you're doing tree climbing to make sure that your finger is okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
You love
it's very
stretches
simple.
and stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We have a question from ASOL, I think that's an acronym for a school, wondering, when did you start to discover nature? Were you scared of anything when you first started to be in the forest?
Okay, so personally, I am outdoor person. So I like to do, my favorite sport, I like to do kayak. I like to cycling inside the rainforest. I mean, while I'm studying, I'm studying in Northern University. University of Malaysia, with Bachelor of Marketing. So while I have free time, I'm using my bicycle ride. That one can reduce your stress. And right now, no more like that because I have no time. So I will spend my time here because I also working here. So we have many trees, So, but I like the tree because once you're going up, you can see the tree is like the canopy and habitat to wildlife. So that's why made me fall in love to tree climbing activities.
Wow, so you just like to be outside in general, even when you were getting your marketing degree at University of Northern Malaysia?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. So outdoorsy person, so this is perfect for you. We have a 2-for question here. Also coming from Australia. Billy and Tessa want to know, have you ever gotten stuck in a tree? And how long do you spend in a tree once you've climbed it?
Okay, so I have talked, just about the knot because sometimes when I learn safety is more important, but sometimes you're excited to do something until you to know, what's next. So maybe, during my training, I also got, hey, what I need to do, something like that. So, but I'm okay because I'm trained right now, practice. So it's okay for me right now.
Well, good. Well, once you're up in a tree, how long do you typically spend up in the canopy?
Okay, it depends on the weather too, because sometimes it's a sunny day, sometimes you can even you first thunder, meaning that you need to calm down. Even it's the best time to see the mist, but you need to know your safety is concerned. So that's why.
Safety first,
Yeah,
always.
exactly. Yeah, sure.
Okay, here, let's step forward because we need to make sure that we're being heard here. What sort of things do you find? Jess wants to know. What sort of things do you find in the trees?
Well, fine. Okay. I find here I find the insect. Yeah, something like ants. So sometimes I also want to know. Actually, they have a grow of flamingo. I can see from the top of the tree, something like that.
What other do you typically see animals when you're up there? Do they get scared and run off when you're?
No, it's like I'm friend to them right now. So I wish I get. It's a good time in the tree. Yeah.
Awesome. Benji wants to know: do you need a degree? Do you have to go to school for tree climbing? And that's SL Penang.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's about if you have no interest, you don't do it. You can't do it. So it's about your interest. We have the special for tree climbing activity every Saturday and every Sunday. So the very youngest one is about 7 years old, and the oldest one is about 70 years old. So everyone can climb the tree. And the benefit of if you climb the tree, one of the important is you can improve your psychological and your physical health. How you do the right decision making up there. Let's say I want to come down and I'm beginner. So the next step you need to do is just like that. I'm in the rope. So meaning that I'm ready to come down. So the first year around the area you are ready. So like that.
Yeah, definitely. You have to. It seems like the more obviously the better you're getting, and the more you're passing on all of this knowledge. And let's see, ESOL in Penang. We're so excited that we have local questions coming in. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Benji wants to know, what is harder for you, climbing up or climbing down, and why?
Okay. Need your energy, need your arm, need your hand, need your leg. It's about how you train your physical. And to climbing down, actually you need to know is the danger part to going down. So that's why we have facilitator or partner or your client to monitor you. So I like to going up to train my muscle, physical. I like to going down too because I'm like a Spider-Man. Something like that. Yeah.
That's perfect. Brendan wants to know, what made you love climbing trees?
Yeah. Climbing. Okay. I love climbing because of the tree. Okay. Trees, you need to know the importance of tree. Tree can convert carbon dioxide to to oxygen, and trees can make food. Something like in Malaysia we have durian fruit, we have mangosteen, mango, rambutan, and can prevent landslide erosion. So that is the reason why I like to climb the tree, because while I'm going up, let's say you have a tree like just about 20 meters, okay, or 30 meters, you're going up just fast about 5 to 10 minutes, okay, and it's very fast you're going up, but you need to know, while during your climb, so you start thinking, I can go up fast, but how long this tree, to grow well, yeah, so I need to appreciate, I need to protect, I need to conserve this tree for my grandchildren later, something like that, for my future. So we need to care our rainforest in Malaysia.
Wow, see, that's really wonderful, because a lot of people just like, you would think, oh, climbing would just be fun, but it has such meaning for you when it comes to conservation. You were mentioning all the fruits in the trees and the way that it keeps erosion from happening. All of the really meaningful things that trees do, and appreciating the way they grow. Well, It has been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah,
Thank you for
thank you very much.
talking to the
And,
audience here.
Yeah, I am thankful to the Habitat Penang Hill, and I am thankful to the Habitat Jason Learning, to interview me and my friends before. And as a special thanks to Mr. Reza and Harry Cockrell, Mr. Harry Cockrell family, to make it me as a climber in Malaysia. And thank you to my coach, Tim Korba, Mr. Tim Korba, and senior climber of Malaysia like Mamu Zo and my plate to K. So my family too. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Lala.
Thank you.
We'll see you. We'll see you a little bit later, and we'll see you up a tree.
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay. Bye.
All right. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have, but boy, was that fun. Thank you for all of your questions. And we're going to be having another live event back at the studio. So we're going to stay here a couple more days. You can follow along and watch on our YouTube channel. If you'd like to see what we're up to, listen to that. The forest is super loud. Anyway, we will see you we'll see you next time. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Jason Live.